Have you ever felt rich before you had the proof? Not in numbers, not in coins, not in papers stacked in a vault, but in the warm certainty that life itself was conspiring in your favor, that something unseen, something infinite had already prepared your banquet table, though your plate was still empty. That is the feeling of gratitude, the golden key that unlocks the storehouses of heaven. Florence Scovel Shinn declared gratitude is the law of increase. To give thanks before the evidence is to proclaim your faith in the unseen treasury of spirit. And what is faith but the assurance of things hoped for the evidence of things not seen? Gratitude is not the polite afterthought when blessings arrive. No, gratitude is the lamp you carry before you, illuminating the path on which blessings hasten to meet you. Right now, in this very moment, I invite you to speak with me. I give thanks for the millions that are mine by divine right. I give thanks for my overflowing abundance, seen and unseen, moving toward me even now. Pause. Breathe these words in as though they were light entering your chest. For gratitude is a sunrise. Before the dawn, the landscape lies in shadow. You may believe the world is small, barren, even threatening. But when the first rays break, everything is revealed for what it is, rich, expansive, filled with color. Gratitude is that sunrise unveiling the riches that were always present, though hidden from your sight. Have you noticed how a grateful heart alters even the simplest moment? A cup of water becomes nectar. A loaf of bread feels like a feast. Gratitude enlarges the vessel of the soul so it may contain more. Without gratitude, blessings slip through the cracks of complaint and are forgotten. With gratitude, blessings multiply as though drawn magnetically to the one who notices them. There was once a woman I knew, let us call her Anna, who found herself in dire straits. Her bills were stacked on the table, each envelope a symbol of fear. She had prayed, begged, strategized, and still the money seemed slow in coming. One day, exhausted from worry, she remembered a teaching. Gratitude is the law of increase, and she decided recklessly, perhaps foolishly, in the world's eyes, to try it. She took the largest bill on her table, held it in both hands, and said aloud, "Thank you, God, that this is already paid in full. Thank you for the millions that are mine by divine right. Thank you for unexpected supply." Each day she gave thanks not for what she saw, but for what she believed. She thanked her empty purse for being full. She thanked her tiny apartment for being a palace. She thanked her weary body for radiant energy. Within weeks, opportunities opened. A freelance contract arrived without warning. A forgotten debt was repaid. And then, the most extraordinary of all, she was offered a partnership in a business that became wildly successful. Later, she would say, "It was gratitude that turned the key." Gratitude transformed the locks of lack into open doors. And so I ask you, can you feel rich before the evidence? Can you let gratitude be your sunrise today? Say softly, "Now I am grateful for the millions that flow to me. I am grateful for my divine inheritance. I am grateful, and therefore I increase." Gratitude shifts the mind from fear to trust, from clutching to receiving. It is impossible to feel both lack and gratitude in the same moment. Gratitude silences the anxious whisper that says, "What if there is not enough?" and replaces it with the song, "There is always more." The mind of scarcity is like a clenched fist, unable to receive. The mind of gratitude is an open palm ready to be filled. You may not yet see the coin, but your palm is open and the universe rushes to place its treasure there. Think now of a sunrise. The darkness does not argue with the light. It simply recedes. Gratitude is the light, and lack is the shadow. As gratitude rises in you, shadows vanish without effort. Pause here. Feel this truth sinking in. Now speak it again with boldness. This time, I give thanks for the millions that are mine by divine right. I give thanks for doors opening, for opportunities flowing, for supply that surprises me. Gratitude is my golden key. You are not begging life to remember you. You are thanking life for what it has already delivered in the unseen. Gratitude places you in the vibration of abundance. It tells the universe, I am ready. I am aligned. I am receptive. And the universe, ever faithful, responds. Every day you awaken with breath in your lungs is proof of supply. Every friend who smiles at you is proof of connection. Every idea that sparks in your mind is proof of wealth in seed form. If you would multiply, bless what you already have. Bless your room, bless your wallet, bless your very breath. Gratitude magnifies all it touches. Listen, have you ever felt abundance simply by giving thanks? Have you ever smiled at the thought of money flowing when your purse was empty, only to find that smile mirrored in the arrival of unexpected funds? This is no accident, it is law. Gratitude is the law of increase. And so I bless you, dear one, as you take this golden key into your hand. Use it daily. Use it freely. Use it lavishly. When fear whispers, answer with thanks. When doubt crouches near, answer with thanks. When the evidence has not yet appeared, answer with thanks. For as you bless, you increase. As you thank, you receive. As you rejoice, you expand. So let us declare one final time together. I give thanks for the millions that are mine by divine right. I give thanks, and so I increase. And if you've ever felt abundance simply by giving thanks, share your story. Someone will be blessed by it today. There comes a moment when gratitude has softened the soil of the heart, and something greater is ready to be planted. Gratitude prepares, but boldness must claim. For wealth, abundance, supply, these are not favors to be begged for. They are not stolen treasures, nor prizes earned by struggle. They are your divine birthright. Florence Scovel Shinn declared, man can only receive what he sees himself receiving. To see yourself as poor, unworthy, undeserving is to shut the door on the banquet prepared for you. But to see yourself as heir beloved, entitled to the riches of heaven, is to step freely into your inheritance. Say with me now, I claim my millions now in grace and in perfect ways. Do you feel the shift in that sentence? Gratitude thanks, but claiming declares. Gratitude opens the door. Claiming walks through it. Gratitude whispers, it is coming. Claiming answers, it is already mine. Imagine for a moment a vast treasury larger than any earthly bank. Golden halls, endless rooms, vaults stacked high with treasures of every kind. And in that treasury, one wing is reserved for you. On the door, your name is written. Inside are ideas waiting to be born, opportunities designed for your hands, wealth already marked as yours by divine right. You do not have to break in. You do not have to plead at the gate. The treasury was written into your inheritance before you were born. You need only step forward, claim it, and say, "This is mine by divine right, and I receive it now." Why then do so many hesitate? Why does the heart tremble at the thought of wealth? Because the world has whispered guilt into our ears. It has said, to want wealth is selfish. To ask for millions is greedy. But what is greed if not fear? Greed clutches because it does not trust supply. True abundance is never greedy, for it knows there is more than enough. Beloved, hear this. Claiming your wealth does not take from another. The table of spirit is infinite. No one is diminished when you rise into abundance. On the contrary, your wealth blesses others. Your overflow feeds the hungry, builds the homes, inspires the hearts, funds the visions. To deny your inheritance is not humility, it is withholding the very blessings you are meant to circulate. So let us release that guilt. Let us lay down the trembling hand and take up the strong voice of decree. For Florence Scovel taught that words are your wands, what you decree you create. Every declaration is a seed cast into the soil of spirit. Say boldly, "Now I claim my millions. I claim them in grace. I claim them in perfect ways. I am not guilty, for it is my divine right to prosper." Think of the prodigal son in Scripture. Though he wandered, though he squandered, though he doubted, when he returned home what was given, a robe, a ring, a feast, he was restored instantly to his inheritance, not because he had earned it, but because it was always his. So it is with you. You are heir to the kingdom of supply. Even if you have struggled, even if you have feared, even if you have felt unworthy, your inheritance has never been revoked. It waits for your claim. There is a story of a man, we shall call him David, who for years believed he had to labor endlessly for scraps. He had absorbed the teaching that money is hard to earn, and so indeed it was hard. One day, he encountered the teaching of divine right supply. At first, he laughed. It seemed too good, too bold, too extravagant. But something stirred in him, a daring thought. What if I am meant for more? So he began quietly at first, then with growing conviction to affirm, "I claim wealth as my divine right. I claim millions in perfect ways." Within months, an unexpected inheritance was released to him. Within a year, he had launched a business that flourished beyond expectation. He would later testify, "Nothing changed outside me until I changed inside me. I stopped begging and I started claiming. That made all the difference." This is your moment of claiming. You have given thanks. Now decree. Stand tall in your inner chamber and declare, "By divine right, I am rich. By divine right, I prosper. By divine right, I live in abundance." Feel the shift as you speak. A crown is placed upon your head. A robe is laid upon your shoulders. You are no longer the beggar at the gate. You are the heir of the house. Walk into your treasury. Open the vaults. Receive what has been waiting for you. Release the thought that you must toil endlessly for crumbs. Release the thought that wealth belongs only to others. Release the thought that asking for millions is too much. The universe is limitless. Why would you ask for less? Why would you shrink when your Father's house has many mansions? Beloved, hear this truth. It is as easy for Spirit to give you millions as to give you pennies. The limitation is not in supply, but in your claim. A timid claim brings a timid return. A bold claim brings a bold return. So claim now, without hesitation, without guilt, without apology. I claim my millions now. I receive my inheritance. I am rich by divine right, and nothing and no one can withhold it from me. Breathe. Let the vibration of those words sink into your being. This is not arrogance. This is alignment. This is not greed. This is grace. You are stepping into the role Spirit has designed for you, a vessel of abundance, a channel of prosperity, an heir of infinite wealth. Say it once more with joy. I claim my millions now in grace and in perfect ways. And if this declaration resonates with your spirit, let your word go forth into the world. Type speak or whisper. Even now, I receive it. For your word sets it in motion, and what you claim is already on its way. Have you ever noticed how life sometimes surprises you with opportunities you could never have planned? A chance meeting, a sudden call, a letter that arrives at the perfect moment. These are the doors of Spirit swinging open in answer to your inner decree. Florence Scovel Shinn spoke often of these unexpected doors that appear when one stands in faith. For when you claim abundance, the path to it is not yours to design. Spirit arranges the how, the where, the when. Your task is to be ready, receptive, and willing to walk through. Say softly with me now, unexpected doors fly open for me. Unexpected doors swing wide in perfect ways. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a long hallway filled with closed doors. Each one leads to a different opportunity, a friendship, a contract, a place of blessing. At first glance, it may seem they are all locked, sealed against you. But as you walk forward in faith one by one, the doors begin to swing open. You do not force them. You do not pound upon them in fear. They open of their own accord, as though unseen hands had prepared them long before your arrival. This is the law of demonstration. The doors are already aligned with your name. They open in perfect timing when you walk forward with trust. Gratitude gave you the golden key. Claiming secured your inheritance. Now the doors swing open. Consider the story of a struggling entrepreneur named Michael. For years, he had wrestled to find investors for his vision. He wrote proposals, knocked on doors, begged for introductions, yet every attempt seemed to collapse. One evening, exhausted, he remembered a teaching he had once dismissed. Unexpected doors open freely for me. In that moment of surrender, he whispered it not as demand, not as desperation, but as declaration. Unexpected doors fly open for me now. Within days, while waiting for a train, he struck up a casual conversation with a fellow traveler. That traveler, as it turned out, was a seasoned investor, searching for exactly the kind of project Michael had to offer. Within weeks, contracts were signed. Within months, the business flourished. Later, Michael would say, "It wasn't the investor that surprised me most. It was the door itself. I had been staring at the wrong hallway. Spirit opened a door I had never even considered." Do you see? It is not your work to predict the door. It is only your work to declare and trust. Spirit specializes in the unexpected, for the unexpected bypasses your doubt. It sweeps in so swiftly, so freely, that even the skeptical part of your mind must bow in awe. Say it boldly now. Unexpected doors of wealth and opportunity open for me now. I walk through with joy. Imagine those doors, not just as wood or iron, but as luminous thresholds. Each door you pass through leads to greater abundance, deeper joy, wider influence. Behind one is a divine connection, behind another, a stream of supply behind another, a vision fulfilled. As you affirm, doors swing wide, not just one, but many. Pause here. Can you feel the air shifting? Opportunities are not scarce. They are abundant, countless waiting. The only lock is fear. The only key is faith. And when faith is spoken, doors move. Florence Scovel reminded her students that life works through channels, but spirit is never limited to one. If one door closes, it is because a better one is about to open. She would say, "Do not look with regret at the closed door. Bless it, release it, and turn your eyes to the door that is opening in front of you. For spirit cannot be blocked. Supply cannot be trapped. Doors will open freely, often in places you least expect." Think of your own life. Was there ever a time when help arrived just as you thought all was lost? A friend appeared, a check arrived, a solution presented itself that was a door beloved. And if it happened once, it can happen again. Indeed, it must, for it is law. Now affirm with me, not timidly, but with conviction. Unexpected doors of prosperity open for me now. Unexpected doors of joy and wealth swing wide. I am ready, I am willing, I am receptive. Picture yourself walking down that radiant hallway once more. Hear the hinges creak as door after door swings open. Light pours out from every threshold. You step through one and find a room filled with allies, mentors, and guides. You step through another and find contracts signed, wealth deposited, projects launched. You step through yet another and find peace, joy, and freedom. There is no limit to how many doors spirit may open. Beloved, you are not locked out of your destiny. You are not barred from abundance. Spirit does not keep you waiting behind cold gates. The doors are yours, and they open freely. There is another story, this one, of a woman named Clara. She had long dreamed of being a writer, but rejection letters piled high. One evening, she prayed not with desperation, but with released spirit. I give thanks that unexpected doors open for me now. The very next week, she was invited to speak at a small local gathering. She hesitated, it seemed insignificant, but she accepted. In that room was an editor who later became the champion of her first book. That book went on to touch thousands of lives. Clara would often smile and say, "The small door I nearly ignored was the very one that led me to my greatest work." So I ask you, what doors have been waiting for you? Which ones will you notice now? Which ones will you step through in faith, without hesitation, without fear? Declare it once more stronger, as though stamping the words upon the door itself. Unexpected doors open for me now. Unexpected doors of wealth, health, joy, and freedom fly open. I walk through in faith, and I am blessed. Let these words echo in your being. Doors are not scarce, they are infinite. Spirit has already assigned them to your journey. The law is sure. The timing is perfect. And your decree is the key that swings them wide. Say it again, like a song rising in your heart. Unexpected doors fly open for me again and again and again. And so they do. And so it is. If you are ready for your next breakthrough, declare it outwardly, comment or whisper aloud, "Now doors open." For as your word goes forth, the doors themselves begin to move. There is a law of life: what you expect, you invite. What you speak, you stir. What you imagine, you prepare for. Too many live in the trickle they expect only drops, so only drops appear. But Spirit does not deal in drops. Spirit deals in floods, in cascades, in avalanches of abundance. Florence Scovel Shinn often spoke of avalanches of abundance, torrents so vast, so unstoppable, that no fear, no lack, no obstacle can resist them. Say with me now, I am ready for avalanches of abundance. They pour into my life now in perfect ways. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine a high mountain. At first, all is still. Snow lies quietly upon the peaks, untouched, unseen. Yet within that stillness, power builds. Then suddenly, with one sound, one vibration, the snow begins to move. It gathers force, momentum, weight. Down the slope, it rushes, unstoppable, immense, all-encompassing. This is the avalanche, not destruction, but delivery. Not loss, but overflowing increase. It pours, it floods, it overwhelms every valley with blessing. This is how Spirit moves supply. Quietly, it builds invisibly, it gathers until the moment of release. And when it comes, it is more than enough. It is not a coin in your pocket, it is rivers in your fields. It is not one answered prayer, it is many. It is not a door opening, it is doors upon doors upon doors. But the mind of scarcity says, I can handle only a little. I will be content with crumbs. And so it accepts a trickle. It thanks the drip of a faucet when oceans are waiting. Beloved, let us break that limitation today. You are not designed for trickles. You are designed for overflow. You are designed to receive in avalanches. Florence Shinn's students would often say, "But isn't it too much to ask for?" And she would answer, "It is never too much. It is your limited thinking that makes it small. God is lavish. God is extravagant. God gives in avalanches." Say it again now to break the trickle mind. I am ready for avalanches of abundance. I do not fear overflow. I rejoice in overflow. Think of it, avalanches of opportunities, avalanches of connections, avalanches of unexpected income, avalanches of favor, avalanches of love. Not one, not two, but cascading, multiplied, unstoppable. The sound of it is like thunder rolling through every valley of your life. The sight of it is dazzling wealth rushing down, sweeping away every trace of lack. The feeling of it is exhilarating, the rush, the force, the flood. There was once a man named Thomas who lived in constant fear of just enough. His motto was, "If I can make it through this month, I will be fine." And so life gave him exactly that, just enough to scrape by. Until one day, he encountered the phrase, "I am ready for avalanches of abundance." At first, it frightened him. He thought, what would I do with avalanches? I can barely handle a trickle. But something in him stirred. He began to say it daily, daringly. Avalanches of abundance pour into my life now. Within months, not only did his salary double, but a long-forgotten investment suddenly matured. Then, in a series of what he called coincidences, he was offered a role in a company that provided him wealth beyond his wildest expectations. He would often say later, it was as though the mountain itself gave way. Everything came at once. I was swept into abundance. This is what avalanches do. They sweep. They overwhelm. They replace fear with awe. They leave you laughing in wonder, saying, "How did it all come at once?" And the answer is simple. It was always building, always gathering. Your decree released it. Say it again, this time with joy. Avalanches of wealth, avalanches of joy, avalanches of opportunity pour into my life now. Scarcity thinking is a drip. It imagines pennies falling slowly, painfully, one by one. Abundance thinking is a flood. It knows that once the dam breaks, the river rushes. Which will you choose? Florence Scovel would say, do not limit God by your limited supply. Speak your word and know that Spirit has ways you know not of. Avalanches mean you cannot predict the source. It may come from a client, a stranger, an investment, a sudden inspiration. It may come in forms you have never imagined. But when the flood arrives, you will know this is more than me, this is Spirit. Let us declare together, I welcome avalanches of supply. I bless the flood of wealth. I am not afraid to overflow, for overflow blesses others. Yes, this is the final truth of the avalanche. It does not stop with you. When an avalanche pours down a mountain, it changes the whole valley. Likewise, when abundance pours into your life, it spills into every life around you. You bless your family, your community, your world. You give, you share, you fund visions, you lift others. Your avalanche becomes theirs. Pause now. Feel the rush of it. Can you sense it gathering even now? Can you hear the sound of supply building, ready to sweep into your life? It is not a trickle. It is a torrent. It is not a drop. It is a flood. Say it one last time with laughter, with power, with faith. I am ready for avalanches of abundance. They pour into my life now in grace, in joy, in perfect ways. And so it is, and so it must be. Speak it aloud. Now I am ready for avalanches of abundance. For your word has power, and what you declare will not return void. There is a subtle deception that keeps many souls waiting in lack. It is the word someday. Someday I will have enough. Someday I will be wealthy. Someday the supply will come. But Florence Scovel Shinn would shake her head gently and remind us supply is not a future promise. Supply is a present reality. To place abundance in the future is to chase a mirage. It recedes as you approach, always almost there, but never quite here. But to affirm supply as here, now endless and immediate, is to step into the flow that has always been moving towards you. The ocean does not say, I will send a wave tomorrow. The ocean is ceaseless, immediate now. Say with me, my supply is endless, immediate, and inexhaustible. It appears now in perfect ways. Pause and let those words sink in. Endless, immediate, inexhaustible. The mind, conditioned by the world, argues, but I must wait, but I must plan, but I must strive. Yet Spirit answers, it is already done. Supply is now. Imagine standing by the sea. Watch the waves roll in. Do they delay? Do they apologize? Do they stop? No, they rise, they fall, they return again and again. So is your supply. The tide of wealth cannot be stopped. Even if you close your eyes, the ocean continues. Even if you turn your back, the waves arrive. Supply is just as relentless, just as immediate. Florence taught her students man must prepare for the thing he asks for when there isn't the slightest sign of it in sight. Why? Because it is already present in the unseen. To wait until you see it is to deny the law. To prepare now is to prove your faith in immediate supply. There was once a woman named Elise who needed rent money. The due date loomed, and her purse was empty. Fear pressed upon her chest. But she remembered, "My supply is endless and immediate." So she spoke aloud, "Thank you, God, my rent is paid in full. My supply is endless and immediate." She lit a candle and gave thanks as though the payment were already made. Within an hour, she received a message. A client she had long forgotten suddenly sent her payment for past work, not only enough for the rent, but double. Later, she said, "I learned that day the truth of immediacy. The supply was already in motion. My gratitude and faith unlocked it." So I ask you now, where in your life have you been saying someday? Where have you postponed your wealth, your joy, your increase? Today is the day to declare, "I have it now. My supply is immediate. My supply is endless." Let us paint the picture. Imagine a vast fountain at the center of your being. It never runs dry. It overflows streams, cascades endlessly. No matter how much you drink, more appears. No matter how much you share, more rises. This is your true supply. Not wages, not markets, not human sources, but spirit inexhaustible. When one channel closes, another opens. When one source dries, another flows. The fountain never ceases. But the mind of scarcity says, "What if it runs out? Beloved, it cannot run out. You do not breathe today and fear the air will be gone tomorrow. You do not sip water and fear the ocean has emptied. The fountain of supply is just as infinite." Say with me, "I live in endless, immediate supply." I release the thought of delay. I live in the now of abundance. Consider also the immediacy of Spirit's timing. Florence would often counsel her students, "Do not wonder how or when it will appear. Know it is here now in perfect ways." Many delay their good by insisting upon time frames. They say, "Next week, next year." But Spirit is outside of time. When you decree, the answer is now. It may appear swiftly in the visible. It may unfold gracefully, but the moment you claim it is yours. There is another story. A man named Julian found himself facing debt. He declared boldly, "Supply is immediate. Supply is mine now." The very next morning, while scrolling through his messages, he discovered a notice an overpayment he had made months ago was being refunded the exact amount of the debt. He laughed aloud and said, "I no longer doubt. Supply is faster than fear." Can you see? When you align with the law of immediacy, delays collapse. Spirit rushes in. Doors open faster than you can plan. Let us declare once more together 3 times to anchor this truth. My supply is endless. My supply is immediate. My supply is inexhaustible. My supply is endless. My supply is immediate. My supply is inexhaustible. My supply is endless. My supply is immediate. My supply is inexhaustible. Feel the rhythm of those words like waves against the shore. Endless, immediate, inexhaustible. You cannot diminish it by doubt. You cannot exhaust it by use. You cannot delay it by fear, only your awareness of it. Florence Scovel would often remind, "All that is mine by divine right is already on its way to me under grace in perfect ways. Not tomorrow, not someday, now." So rise from the mirage of later. Leave behind the desert of someday. Step into the river of now. Wealth is here. Joy is here. Supply is here. Say it with laughter, as though splashing in the waves of abundance. I receive my supply now. It is endless, immediate, inexhaustible. And so it is, and so it must be. If this truth resonates with you, bless someone else by sharing it. For the endless fountain within you flows even greater as you let it pour into others. There is a deeper rest that comes when one learns to release control. For after gratitude, after claiming after doors and avalanches, after immediate supply, the soul must learn to lean back into the arms of divine grace. Florence Scovel Shinn often declared, "I rest in the knowing that all arrives in perfect ways." This is the final key of abundance trust. Have you ever sat waiting for a train? You know the schedule. You trust the conductor. You do not run nervously up and down the tracks crying, "Will it come? Will it come?" You rest on the bench, perhaps reading a book, confident the train is already on its way. Such is the posture of the prosperous soul. It does not panic. It does not demand. It rests knowing that timing is always perfect. Say softly with me now, "I rest in grace. I trust divine timing. All that is mine comes to me in perfect ways." There is no rush in spirit. The tides do not crash early, nor do they delay. The seasons do not argue. Spring arrives when the earth is ready. The rose does not force its bloom in winter. Each unfolds in perfect order, and so does your supply. But how often the human heart frets, "Why not now? Why not faster? Why not this way?" In that fretting peace is lost. Yet Florence would remind us, fear and impatience delay the good. Rest and trust hasten it. For when you lean back in grace, you signal your faith, and faith is the magnet that draws supply swiftly and surely. Imagine a farmer. He plants the seed and covers it with soil. Does he dig it up each day to see if it has sprouted? No. He waters, he tends, and he trusts. He knows the seed is alive, working unseen until the day of harvest. So it is with your decree. You spoke your word. You planted your seed. Trust now that Spirit works beneath the surface. Do not dig it up with doubt. Let grace bring it to blossom in perfect timing. Say it again, "I release control. I rest in grace. What is mine comes in perfect timing." There was once a woman named Miriam who longed for her own home. She affirmed faithfully, "My house comes to me under grace in perfect ways." Yet months passed, and she grew weary. Friends pressed her. "Perhaps it is not meant to be." But Miriam remembered delay is not denial. She chose rest. She chose trust. She thanked Spirit daily for her home, though she had not seen it. Then one morning, she received a call. A relative preparing to relocate offered her a beautiful property at a fraction of the price. Later, she laughed through tears, saying, "Had it come earlier, I would have settled for less. Spirit's timing gave me more than I could have imagined." Beloved, can you see trust is not passive? Trust is active rest. Trust is confidence so deep it does not waver when appearances seem silent. Trust is the assurance it is already mine. It is already done. It is arriving in the perfect moment. Say once more, "I rest in the knowing. I trust in the timing. All that is mine comes to me effortlessly under grace." Nature itself teaches us this rhythm. Watch the moon. It waxes, it wanes, but it never fails to return full. Watch the tide. It recedes, it flows, but it always comes back. Watch the tree. It sleeps in winter, it blossoms in spring, but it never doubts its cycle. So it is with your life. Do not fear the quiet seasons. They are part of the order. Do not curse the waiting. It is ripening you for the harvest. Florence Scovel once told her students, faith knows it has already received and acts accordingly. This is the essence of timing, not anxious grasping, but serene assurance. So let us breathe deeply now and speak this truth into our being. I trust divine timing. I release anxiety. My supply, my wealth, my abundance are secure, and they appear in perfect order. Do you feel the softening within? This is grace. Grace is not effort. Grace is not calculation. Grace is the gentle current that carries you without strain. When you rest in grace, you are like the leaf upon the river. You are carried exactly where you belong without struggle. There is another story. A man named Samuel longed for new work. He applied, endlessly received rejection after rejection, and finally declared, "Enough striving. I place this in the hands of Spirit. My perfect work appears under grace." Weeks later, he was invited without applying to interview for a role perfectly suited to his gifts. He later said, "When I let go, the work found me. Timing was flawless. Grace did the lifting I could not." This is your invitation now to release the frantic grip, to set down the heavy burden, to lean back into grace. Your millions are already yours. Your supply is already secure. The timing is not late nor early. It is exact, precise, perfect. Say with me one final time, as a lullaby to your spirit, I rest in grace. I trust divine timing. All that is mine flows to me now in perfect ways. Let these words cradle you. Let them dissolve the strain of striving. Let them anchor your heart in peace. You are safe. You are supplied. You are carried. Rest now, for grace is working. Trust now, for timing is flawless. Smile now, for what is yours cannot be withheld. And so it is. Gratitude is not merely a polite response or a social courtesy. It is a spiritual power, a force that reshapes the mind, the body, and the very currents of our destiny. Science now affirms what mystic sages and Florence Scovel Shinn herself proclaimed long ago, that gratitude is a magnet, a transmitter, and a rewiring agent for the subconscious mind. When we dwell in gratitude, new neural pathways begin to light up in the brain like stars flickering awake at twilight. These pathways shape perception. They become grooves through which thought energy flows, forming new habits of expectation. The subconscious, childlike and impressionable, accepts the song of gratitude as law. It does not question whether your thankfulness is for something already visible or still invisible. It merely receives the vibration and sets the wheels of demonstration into motion. Imagine a vast garden hidden in soil. Every desire, every vision of prosperity is already planted in the unseen. Yet seeds cannot thrive in cold darkness alone. They wait silently for the warmth of the sun. Gratitude is that sunlight. It awakens the seed, it calls the buried life upward, it stirs roots and compels blossoms. Without gratitude, seeds lie dormant as though asleep beneath hardened earth. With gratitude, the entire field begins to stir and rise. Consider this: every repeated thought of gratitude strengthens the wealth consciousness within. Neuroscientists tell us that repetition strengthens neural connections. Each time you say, "I am grateful for the money that flows to me," you are not just speaking a phrase, You are laying down bricks in the inner architecture of abundance. Over time, these bricks form pathways so solid that even when old doubts knock at your door, your mind returns automatically to gratitude. Let me share a story. Years ago, a woman named Clara found herself on the edge of financial despair. Bills piled upon her desk, each one a reminder of what seemed impossible. She had no job, no visible source of income, and no idea how she might survive the coming month. But she remembered reading Florence Scovel Shinn's words, "Gratitude is the law of increase, complaint is the law of decrease." So Clara began a daily practice. Each morning, she wrote down 3 blessings she was grateful for, not large, not glamorous, but real. The warmth of her blanket, the scent of her coffee, a neighbor's smile. She repeated aloud, "I am grateful for the wealth that is mine, now seen and unseen." Days passed. Her outer world looked unchanged, but within she began to feel lighter. Anxiety loosened its grip. She found herself walking straighter, breathing deeper, smiling more often. And then the unexpected occurred. A former employer phoned her out of the blue with freelance work. Soon after, an aunt sent her a gift she had been withholding for years. A stranger bought her handmade crafts at the market. Streams began to flow where once there was dry ground. Clara's life became a living testimony that gratitude calls forth supply. You see, gratitude is not passive. It is active electricity. It alters the brain's chemistry, softens the heart, and tunes the entire being into alignment with abundance. Without gratitude, the subconscious clings to lack. With gratitude, it opens its gates to wealth. Think of it this way: your mind is like a radio. When you dwell on fear or complaint, you tune into a station broadcasting scarcity and struggle. The signal is filled with static and noise. But gratitude shifts the dial. Suddenly, you are aligned with the frequency of provision, and what you hear and what you receive changes completely. So today, let us take this into practice. I invite you right now to pause and breathe. Place your hand upon your heart. Speak aloud. I am grateful for every dollar that has ever flowed into my life. I am grateful for the unseen wealth already on its way. I am grateful that divine supply is endless and it delights to provide for me. Notice how your body softens as you say these words. Notice how the air feels lighter. That is the rewiring at work. Each repetition strengthens your wealth consciousness. Remember, this gratitude does not deny difficulties. Gratitude transcends them. It is the soul declaring, "Though clouds may pass across my sky, the sun is still shining." Gratitude keeps your focus on the eternal abundance rather than the temporary appearance of lack. When practiced consistently, gratitude becomes the very lens through which you see the world. Bills no longer appear as threats, but as reminders that you are trusted with circulation. Delays no longer appear as punishments, but as pauses in divine timing. Every moment becomes infused with the knowing that you are cared for, supported, and supplied. This is the miracle of gratitude. It is sunlight for the seeds of your vision. It is the divine password that unlocks the vaults of heaven. It is the alchemy that transforms fear into faith and faith into demonstration. So as you move forward, keep a simple practice each day. Write down one financial blessing you are grateful for. It may be as humble as a cup of coffee purchased with ease, or as grand as a sudden increase. But write it, speak it, and affirm it. For in gratitude, Wealth multiplies. Write one financial blessing you are grateful for today in the comments. Money is not lost when it leaves your hand. It is not diminished when it circulates. True money is a current, just as its name implies. Currency. It flows like a river, and its nature is to move, to circulate, to refresh. When we understand this truth, we begin to spend not with fear, but with faith, not with trembling, but with joy. Florence Scovel Shinn once wrote, "I spend money under direct inspiration, and it returns to me multiplied in a most marvelous way." These words are not merely poetic, they are a spiritual law. To spend fearlessly under divine inspiration is to recognize that you are not a victim of lack, but a channel of circulation. Each dollar that flows through you is a seed that returns multiplied when released with joy. Yet many people live with a haunting sense of fear around spending. They clutch their wallets, hesitate at the register, or feel guilt after every purchase. Why? Because they have been taught that money is scarce, fragile, and easily lost. But fear is inverted faith. To fear spending is to declare unconsciously, "There is not enough for me." To spend with faith is to declare, "My supply is infinite and I am never diminished." Let me tell you the story of James. James was a young artist struggling to make ends meet. He saved every penny, hoarded every coin, and lived in constant anxiety. He feared that if he bought anything beyond his bare necessities, he would collapse financially. One day, he saw a set of paints in a shop window. The price seemed extravagant to him, but something in his heart stirred. It was not impulse, it was inspiration. That quiet inner knowing whispered, "This is not loss. This is investment in your divine gift." With trembling hands, James made the purchase. And something miraculous happened. Within weeks. The very paintings he created with those colors sold for more than 10 times the cost. His fearful hoarding had never multiplied his money, but his fearless, inspired spending did. This is the law: when money flows under divine guidance, it returns multiplied. Imagine money as a river. If the river is dammed, it grows stagnant, filled with weeds and mosquitoes. But when allowed to flow freely, it nourishes fields, refreshes villages, and returns to the sea, only to rise again as rain and feed the river once more. So it is with your finances. When you spend fearlessly, affirming, "I spend under divine inspiration, and my supply multiplies," you step into the rhythm of circulation. Money moves out, but it must return. It is spiritual law, as sure as the tide, as faithful as sunrise. Here is the difference: impulsive spending drains, but inspired spending multiplies. Impulse comes from fear, ego, or desperation. Inspiration comes from inner peace, joy, and divine guidance. When you buy out of insecurity, the purchase weighs heavy on your spirit. But when you buy from inspiration, the purchase uplifts and opens the way for more. Try this the next time you are about to spend. Pause and breathe. Ask yourself, does this bring me peace? Does this feel expansive or constricting? If peace is present, it is inspiration. If fear dominates, it is impulse. Let peace be your compass. You see, every purchase is not just a transaction, it is a declaration. When you buy food, you are saying, "I am worthy of nourishment." When you pay rent, you are affirming, "I am worthy of shelter and comfort." When you invest in your education, you proclaim, "I am worthy of growth and expansion." The way you spend reflects what you believe you deserve. And when you spend fearlessly, you affirm to the universe, "I trust in divine supply." I trust that more is coming. I trust that circulation is life. There is a deeper mystery here. Money spent fearlessly carries a vibration. That vibration ripples outward, touching every hand it passes through, multiplying blessings along the way. A generous tip to a waiter becomes food on his table, joy for his children, and perhaps even inspiration for him to bless another. The single act of fearless spending becomes a chain of abundance that you may never fully see, but which always returns to you in ways unexpected and marvelous. I invite you now to close your eyes for a moment and imagine money as light flowing from your hand like golden water. See it circulating, blessing shopkeepers, employees, families, communities. See it flowing back to you as fresh opportunities, as unexpected gifts, as promotions, as checks in the mail. This is no fantasy. This is the law of circulation. So let us affirm together. I spend fearlessly under divine inspiration, knowing my supply multiplies. Every dollar I release returns to me tenfold. I am never diminished, only increased. Money flows in, money flows out, money flows back multiplied. Feel the freedom in these words. Let them sink deep into your consciousness. Let them break the chains of fear and replace them with faith. For you are not a victim of money. You are its master, its channel, its custodian. Remember James and his paints. Remember the river that must flow. And remember, always circulation is multiplication. What you spend in fear shrinks. What you spend in faith expands. Now, step boldly into this truth. Spend fearlessly under inspiration. Give joyfully. Release gladly. And watch as your wealth, like the river, flows back to you in greater measure. Affirm now in the comments, every dollar I spend returns multiplied. The scarcity mindset is one of the greatest illusions humanity has ever agreed to believe. It whispers that there is not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunity. It tells us that if another gains, we must lose. It convinces us to clutch, to hoard, to ration, to shrink. Yet Florence Scovel Shinn declared a truth that dissolves this lie. Fear is inverted faith. It is faith in evil instead of good. Scarcity is simply faith misplaced. When you believe in lack, you are putting your faith in shadows, in absence, in the illusion of limitation. But when you believe in supply, you are putting your faith in the eternal source that cannot be exhausted. Let us paint this in imagery. Picture a garden rich with soil waiting to flourish. Yet weeds of doubt grow thick, strangling the tender shoots of prosperity. These weeds are the thoughts of scarcity. I will never get ahead. There isn't enough to go around. Money is hard to come by. I must fight to survive. The garden is full of seeds of abundance, but unless the weeds are uprooted, they choke out the harvest. Now imagine the gardener within you standing tall with hands upon the tools of truth. Each time you affirm, I live in a universe of abundance, you pull up a weed. Each time you declare, fear is powerless over me, you clear more ground. The more you root out scarcity thoughts, the more sunlight reaches the seeds of prosperity, and the more they flourish. This is not a metaphor only, it is the living experience of transformation. Let me tell you the story of Teresa. Teresa grew up in a household where money was always tight. Her parents often fought about bills using phrases like, "We'll never make it," and "money doesn't grow on trees." These words imprinted deeply on her subconscious like grooves in a record. As an adult, Teresa carried these patterns. Even when she earned a decent salary, she always felt on the edge of collapse. She would check her bank account multiple times a day, never trusting it was enough. She clipped coupons obsessively and refused small pleasures, telling herself she must be careful. But no matter how much she saved, it always seemed to vanish. One day, in desperation, she stumbled across Shinn's affirmation, "There is a supply for every demand." At first, she doubted, but something in her spirit stirred. She began repeating it daily. "There is a supply for every demand. I am provided for in miraculous ways." At first, nothing seemed to change, but she persisted. Slowly, her fear began to soften. The weeds were loosening. Then came the turning point. Her car broke down, and instead of spiraling into panic, she declared, "This need is already met. Divine supply is here." The very next day, a friend connected her with a mechanic who repaired the car at half the usual price, and she received an unexpected bonus from her job. It was as though the universe was waiting for her to uproot fear before sending the provision. You see, scarcity is not real. It is a shadow on the wall. When you turn on the light of faith, the shadow disappears. But as long as you believe the shadow has power, you live as though chained by it. Contrast is the teacher here. Let us see the before and after. Before, scarcity says, "I cannot afford to give." After, abundance says, "I cannot afford not to give, for giving multiplies." Before, scarcity says, "I must cling to what I have." After, abundance says, "What I release returns to me multiplied." Before, scarcity says, "Opportunities are rare." After, abundance says, "Divine ideas and doors of opportunity are infinite." The emotional shift is profound. In scarcity, the body contracts. Shoulders hunch, breath shortens, heart races. In abundance, the body expands. Shoulders open, breath deepens, heart steadies. You can feel the difference right now. Say aloud, "There is never enough." Notice how heavy it feels. Now say aloud, "I am surrounded by infinite supply." Notice how light you feel. That is the shift from weeds to blossoms, from shadow to sunlight. The subconscious must be trained to expect abundance. How? Through repetition, imagination, and affirmation. Speak aloud daily. "I uproot all scarcity now. Fear has no power over me. I trust the divine supply that never fails. My life is overflowing with opportunities, wealth, and joy." Every time you say this, you are digging deeper, pulling up another weed. Over time, your inner garden transforms, and what once seemed barren becomes lush with fruit. And so the work is simple but powerful. Catch scarcity thoughts as they arise. Do not wrestle them. Do not fear them, simply uproot them and replace them. Just as a gardener does not curse the weeds, but steadily removes them, so must you treat thoughts of lack. Patiently, persistently, lovingly, keep clearing the soil. For soon, you will see the difference. You will find unexpected opportunities. You will find provision arising in ways you never planned. You will find peace replacing panic. And you will know in your heart that scarcity was never real. It was only a lie believed. Take a deep breath now and affirm with me. I uproot all scarcity now. I live in abundance. I live in joy. I live in divine provision today and always. Declare in the comments, I uproot all scarcity now. One of the greatest errors in human thinking is trying to dictate to the universe how our supply must arrive. We imagine only one channel, our job, our paycheck, our business. And when that channel seems slow or blocked, we panic. But Florence Scovel Shinn taught when man limits supply, he brings limitation into his life. The spirit is not limited by precedent or by the channels we can see. The spirit brings supply in unexpected ways. Money is not bound to one path. Wealth does not depend on a single avenue. Just as a river is fed by countless streams, so your life is supplied by countless channels. If one stream dries, another opens. If one door closes, another is already waiting. When you release the how, the unexpected becomes possible. Let us picture this vividly. Imagine standing by a great river. You see streams pouring into it from every direction, north, south, east, west. Some streams are wide and rushing, others are small trickles, yet all contribute to the fullness of the river. Your life is this river. Your job may be one stream, your business another, a friend's kindness another, an investment another. But beyond the streams, you see there are underground springs, hidden waterfalls, rain yet to fall from the sky. The river is never truly cut off. Supply may change form, but it never ceases. I recall the story of Daniel, a man who lost his job suddenly after years of service. At first, despair overwhelmed him. His mind insisted, "That was my only source. Without it, I am ruined." But then he remembered the teaching, "Do not limit the channels." He began to affirm daily, "My supply comes from God, not from one man, not from one company. The universe is my unfailing source, and new channels open for me now." Within 2 weeks, Daniel received a phone call from a distant acquaintance offering a short-term project that paid exactly what he needed to cover his bills. Soon after, his sister surprised him with a gift she had been saving for him. Later, an entirely new career path unfolded, one he had never considered before, but which became more fulfilling than his former job. The old channel closed, but 3 new channels opened. Such stories are not rare. They are the natural outcome of trust. I myself have heard countless testimonies. A woman receiving an unexpected inheritance just when she needed to pay off debt. A man who found a forgotten bank account containing more than he imagined. A family who prayed for provision and discovered their garden yielding an unusual abundance of fruit which they sold for profit. Supply often arrives in ways the rational mind could never predict. This is why we must never dictate the channel. To say, "My money can only come from my salary," is like standing at the river and blocking every stream but one. No wonder the river seems low, but when we release control and say, "Supply is infinite, and it may come through seen and unseen channels," we allow the floodgates to open. Let me remind you, the universe is infinitely creative. It is the source of ideas, inventions, opportunities, connections, gifts, and miracles. To limit it is folly. To trust it is wisdom. And so, what is required of us to live in expectancy, not limitation? To say daily, "I do not limit the ways in which wealth can reach me. Money gifts, opportunities, and blessings flow to me from unexpected channels. I welcome the new, the surprising, the marvelous." Pause for a moment. Breathe into these words. Can you feel the release in your chest? The mind loosens its grip when you stop insisting on how. The body relaxes when you accept that unseen channels exist. Anxiety fades when you remember that your source is unlimited. There is a delight, almost a childlike wonder in living this way. Each day becomes a treasure hunt. You no longer wake up asking, "How will it happen?" but instead, "In what delightful way will it happen today?" This shift of attitude opens the subconscious to miracles. Think of it like rain. You may expect water from one pipe in your house, but when rain falls, the entire roof gathers it, the gutters direct it, the ground drinks it. The rain is supply, and it finds countless ways to nourish the land. So it is with wealth. It falls often when least expected and finds its way into your life. To limit channels is to live in fear. To release channels is to live in freedom, and freedom is the natural state of the soul. So let us affirm together. I open my life to unexpected channels of wealth. Money flows to me in marvelous ways. My supply is unlimited, my streams are many, and I am always cared for. And remember this truth: what you are seeking is also seeking you. The unexpected channels are already in motion. Even now, resources are being aligned, doors are being unlocked, streams are gathering. Your part is to trust, to expect, and to remain open. Share a time when provision came to you from an unexpected place. There is a still, small voice within you that always knows the way. It speaks not with thunder, but with peace. It does not shout. It does not argue. It whispers steady and calm. When it comes to money decisions, this voice is the surest guide you can ever follow. Florence Scovel Shinn called it divine inspiration, and she taught that when we align with it, we never make mistakes. The challenge is that many confuse impulse with inspiration. Impulse is noisy, urgent, anxious. Inspiration is quiet, confident, serene. Impulse shouts, "Buy it now, or you'll lose out." Inspiration whispers, "This is right for you. Move in peace." Impulse is born of fear and ego. Inspiration flows from spirit. To discern between the two, we must learn to tune our inner radio. Imagine your mind as a radio receiver. The world is filled with stations: fear, greed, impatience, desire. They play loudly, and if you tune carelessly, you catch their noise. But there is one station that plays the melody of divine guidance. It may be subtle, but when you find it, the music is clear and beautiful. Your task is to adjust the dial until you feel the resonance of peace. Let me illustrate with a story. Mary Ann was a businesswoman who faced a critical choice. She was offered 2 investment opportunities. One promised fast returns, the other seemed slower but steadier. The fast return option dazzled her mind. It sparkled with promises, urged her to act quickly, and filled her with restless excitement. Yet when she sat quietly and prayed, she felt unease in her stomach, a heaviness in her chest. In contrast, when she thought of the slower investment, her body relaxed. Peace flowed through her like a gentle river. She chose the path of peace. Months later, the fast return option collapsed, leaving others in loss while her steady investment flourished and multiplied. She had tuned her radio to the right station, and the music guided her. This is the secret. Inner peace is the compass of divine inspiration. If a financial decision brings contraction, anxiety, or urgency, it is not from spirit. If it brings expansion, calm, and assurance, it is aligned. Think of how many mistakes humanity makes from ignoring this compass. We buy things we do not need because of fear of missing out. We sign contracts in haste, then regret them. We chase opportunities that glitter but do not last. Why? Because we listen to impulse, not inspiration. But when we allow divine inspiration to guide us, every choice becomes aligned with abundance. We spend not out of fear, but out of joy. We give not out of guilt, but out of love. We invest not out of greed, but out of trust. And because inspiration is rooted in the infinite wisdom of the universe, our choices are always multiplied back to us. You may wonder, but how do I hear this voice more clearly? The answer is practice. Each day, spend a few quiet moments in stillness. Breathe, relax, and ask within, what is the inspired step for me today? At first, the whispers may seem faint, but as you honor them, they grow louder. Just as a musician trains her ear to distinguish notes, you will train your heart to distinguish inspiration from impulse. I encourage you to begin small. The next time you are about to make a purchase, pause. Place your hand on your heart. Ask, does this bring peace? Does this feel expansive? If yes, move forward. If no, wait. In this way, you retrain your subconscious to follow spirit rather than fear. Remember, divine inspiration does not lead you into loss. It may lead you into risk, yes, but it is a risk aligned with growth, not with destruction. It is the leap of faith that builds wings as you rise. Florence Scovel Shinn often affirmed, I am always under direct inspiration, and I make right decisions quickly. You too may speak these words. Each time you say them, you affirm your alignment with divine wisdom. Let us affirm together now. I am guided in all my financial decisions. I do not act in haste. I do not act in fear. I wait upon divine inspiration, and when it comes, I move boldly. Every choice I make prospers me and blesses others. Feel how this affirmation settles into you. Notice the calm that rises as you claim it. That calm is proof of alignment. Think of the tuning metaphor once more. You're surrounded by countless stations, yet the station of divine inspiration is always broadcasting. It never stops. It is we who must tune in. When tuned correctly, the static disappears and the message comes through clearly. This is the way. Walk in it. And here is the beauty. When you walk by inspiration, even detours become blessings. Even what seems like a delay turns into divine timing. Even what seems like loss becomes a seed for multiplication. Inspiration ensures that every step leads upward. So today, resolve to live not by impulse, but by inspiration. Resolve to let peace be your guide. Resolve to trust the still small voice within you, for it is the voice of abundance, the voice of supply, the voice of God. Comment, I am guided, if this speaks to you. Type in the comments, my wealth circulates and multiplies to seal this truth. The first light of morning is soft, golden, and forgiving. It slips through the window like a whisper of the infinite, reminding you that every dawn is a new contract between you and life itself. The day is being written, and you, the scribe, hold the pen of consciousness. As you awaken not only your body, but your wealth consciousness, that divine ability to recognize abundance as your natural state. Let us begin gently. Before you move, before you reach for your phone, before the chatter of the world begins, place your hand upon your heart. Breathe, slowly, deeply. With every inhale, know I am inhaling the riches of the universe. With every exhale, I am releasing fear, doubt, and lack. This breath itself is wealth. For the poor man and the king breathe the same air, yet the one who gives thanks lives as royalty. Step 1. Gratitude, awakening. Silently or aloud, if you can say, I give thanks for this day. I give thanks for the roof above me, the bed beneath me, the body that carries me, and the breath that sustains me. I give thanks for the unseen blessings rushing to meet me now. Pause, feel it, Gratitude is not words, but vibration. Picture golden light pouring into your chest as you speak these words. Gratitude is the magnet of miracles. Now extend it further. See your bank account, and whether it is large or small, bless it. Whisper, I bless my finances. I bless every dollar I have and every dollar that is flowing toward me. Money is not my enemy. Money is my servant, and it arrives when called by divine law. Feel the heaviness that once clung to money dissolve. Each coin and bill is a note of music, part of a symphony of circulation. You are not chasing, you are conducting. Step 2, the wealth mirror. Rise and go to the mirror. Look into your own eyes. They are the windows of eternity. Speak to yourself with the authority of the infinite. I am worthy of infinite supply. I am worthy of wealth in avalanches of abundance. I am worthy because I am one with the Creator, and the Creator withholds nothing. At first, your mind may resist. Old voices may whisper, but look at your bills, look at your debts. Smile gently and reply, I cast out the lie of lack. I walk in the truth of supply. I am rich in mind, therefore I am rich in manifestation. It is done. Repeat it not once, but until the words pierce the veil of doubt. Let your own gaze convince you. You are not pleading. You are declaring. Step 3, the 5-minute wealth journal. Sit quietly with a notebook. At the top, write the date. Then write 3 simple lines. Today, I am grateful for, and name 3 things. Today, I allow, and name 3 forms of abundance you are open to. It may be money, opportunities, wisdom, friendships, clients, or guidance. Today, I declare and affirm 3 truths about your wealth. For example, I declare unexpected income comes to me easily. I declare money is drawn to me in delightful ways. I declare I am always supplied richly and fully. As you write, let your hand be a channel, not your intellect. Do not overthink. Flow. This simple act is the planting of seeds. Step 4, the minute of silence. After writing, close your eyes for 60 seconds. See the seeds of your words falling into the fertile soil of the subconscious. Whisper, my words are wands. My words are seeds, and my harvest is sure. Step 5, the morning affirmation prayer. Stand, raise your arms slightly, palms open. Speak with the power of command. Today is a day of abundance. I walk in divine order. I magnetize wealth with ease. I radiate gratitude, and gratitude multiplies my blessings. Every word I speak today is charged with prosperity. Every step I take is upon the golden path of supply. I am rich in thought, rich in love, rich in manifestation. It is done, it is done, it is done. Pause. Feel the words reverberate. Imagine golden ripples spreading outward, touching every encounter, every exchange, every bank account, every opportunity. Closing integration. This 5-minute ritual is not small. It is atomic. Done daily, it rearranges the molecules of your world. For wealth is not built in vaults or markets, but in consciousness. Each morning, you are reprogramming yourself to expect supply, to welcome it, to multiply it. Walk into your day as though the infinite walks beside you, because it does. The air is charged with possibility. The phone call you will receive, the chance meeting, the email, the opportunity, all have already been scheduled in the invisible. You need only show up with gratitude, speak your affirmations with power, and act in divine confidence. Remember, lack is not real. Fear is not real. Debt is not real. They are shadows cast by old thought forms. The only reality is supply, and supply flows endlessly to you. So rise, beloved soul. Rise into your riches. The dawn has broken, and with it so has your wealth consciousness. Close your eyes and breathe deeply. Inhale as though you are drawing in golden light. Exhale as though you are releasing every shadow of fear. Let your body soften, your shoulders drop, your heart expand. You are entering the sacred theater of imagination, where the unseen becomes the seen, where thoughts crystallize into reality. Imagine yourself standing at the foot of a great mountain. The air is crisp, clean, invigorating. High above you, hear a distant rumble. At first, it is soft, like thunder muffled by the clouds, and then it grows louder, closer, undeniable. You realize it is not danger, but abundance itself. An avalanche. But not of snow, no. This is an avalanche of wealth. See it, feel it. A cascade of golden coins, sparkling jewels, brilliant streams of currency rushing down toward you. Notes of every denomination flutter in the wind like leaves of autumn, but these are not fleeting. They are everlasting. Streams of gold pour like waterfalls. It is too much for any vault, too much for any pocket. It is overflowing, uncontainable, unstoppable. Breathe. Inhale the sound of it, the rich, rushing, thunderous music of supply. Exhale and let every doubt melt. Now step forward. The avalanche of abundance is moving toward you, and instead of fear, you feel joy, exhilaration. It is not meant to bury you. It is meant to bless you. You raise your arms, and the flood of supply cascades into your hands, your lap, your very being. The avalanche does not knock you down. Instead, it lifts you, carrying you higher, higher, higher on the current of wealth. Repeat silently with me. I am swept up in avalanches of abundance. I am carried on rivers of riches. I am upheld by the currents of supply. Pause. Breathe. With every inhalation, see more riches pouring in. With every exhalation, feel yourself saying, yes. Yes, yes, I receive. Multisensory layering. Engage every sense now. See the shimmer of golden light. Hear the clinking of coins, the flutter of bills, the rush of waterfalls. Smell the freshness of new opportunity like rain on fertile soil. Taste sweetness on your tongue, the taste of prosperity. Feel the cool touch of jeweled streams running through your fingers. The avalanche is not harsh. It is playful. It dances around you, through you, with you. And notice you are not hoarding. You are not scrambling to gather. You are simply basking in the overflow. The more you release your grasp, the more supply flows in. You are a channel, not a container. The avalanche never ends. The more you open your hands, the more pours in. Whisper softly, I do not chase wealth. I welcome it. I do not fear lack. I flow in supply. I am lifted by the avalanche of abundance. The breathing rhythm. Now align your breath with this vision. Inhale for a count of 4, drawing in golden wealth. Hold for a count of 4, savoring the richness. Exhale for a count of 4, releasing doubt, fear, and lack. Pause for a count of 4, resting in trust. Again, inhale golden coins. Hold infinite supply. Exhale, release the shadow of debt. Pause, rest in abundance. Feel your body sinking with the eternal rhythm of wealth. You are breathing in harmony with the infinite's supply chain. The avalanche expands. Now see this avalanche not only blessing you, but blessing the world. You watch as the golden flood pours through your hands into your family, your community, your projects, your causes. It flows into every place where supply is needed. Schools are built, homes are restored, artists are supported, healers are resourced. The avalanche of your abundance lifts all. You whisper, as I rise, others rise. As I prosper, the world prospers. As I overflow, others overflow. And the avalanche grows stronger. For giving is multiplying. The more you share in this vision, the greater the flood becomes. You realize you are not the source. You are the channel. The infinite is the source, and the infinite never runs dry. Anchor the vision. Now anchor this vision deep into your subconscious. See yourself tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, still being lifted by avalanches of abundance. See your bank accounts swelling. See opportunities multiplying. See doors opening. See your body walking in confidence. Feel it not as fantasy, but as fact. Repeat after me. The avalanche of abundance is here. It lifts me daily. It supplies me richly. It flows endlessly. I receive, I give, I circulate. It is done. Again, louder within. The avalanche of abundance is here. It lifts me daily. It supplies me richly. It flows endlessly. I receive, I give, I circulate. It is done. One final time with all your heart. The avalanche of abundance is here. It lifts me daily. It supplies me richly. It flows endlessly. I receive, I give, I circulate. It is done. Return. Take a deep breath now. Wiggle your fingers. Feel your body in the room. The vision remains anchored in your soul. The avalanche has not ended. It continues even now, silently but powerfully working behind the veil. You walk forth not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Beloved, remember, avalanches are sudden. They rush without warning. So expect the unexpected. Be ready for blessings to burst forth from unseen places. The infinite is creative. Money, opportunities, ideas, gifts, all are rushing toward you now. Smile. You are already rich. You are already carried. You are already lifted by the avalanche of abundance. Stand if you can. Place your feet firmly upon the floor, grounding yourself like a tree rooted in the soil of the infinite. Straighten your spine. Lift your chin. Place one hand upon your heart and raise the other as if commanding the very elements. This is not ordinary speaking. This is decree. The law of demonstration answers to the spoken word. Take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. Feel the authority that is already yours. Now repeat after me, whether aloud or within your heart. Speak as though you are the trumpet of heaven itself. Call and response decree cycle. Say, I declare every door to my abundance is now open, and echo it back to yourself. Every door to my abundance is now open. Again, I declare doors of wealth swing wide before me. Doors of wealth swing wide before me. Feel the energy shift in the room. These are not empty words. They are keys turning in locks. You may even feel it, a release, a movement, a subtle cracking open in your spirit. Say, I declare no man, no system, no limitation can shut what God has opened for me. And again, no man, no system, no limitation can shut what God has opened for me. Pause, breathe. The decree has gone forth. Now intensify. Speak with rhythm, with certainty, with force. I declare supply flows endlessly to me. Supply flows endlessly to me. I declare money comes in avalanches of abundance. Money comes in avalanches of abundance. I declare I live under open heavens. I live under open heavens. Feel the cadence, the repetition. Every phrase drives deeper into the subconscious planting roots, commanding unseen forces. The rising rhythm. Now we build like waves climbing higher upon the shore. Speak louder inside with greater conviction. I declare opportunity finds me. I declare ideas multiply in me. I declare wealth surrounds me. I declare success belongs to me. I declare prosperity is my divine right. I declare my storehouses overflow. I declare I am a magnet for riches. I declare endless streams of income now manifest. I declare debt is dissolved, erased, vanished. I declare I live free, supplied, and secure. Yes. Let each decree strike like a hammer upon the stone of limitation until the wall cracks, crumbles, and disappears. The shout of triumph. Now imagine the invisible doors before you. Doors to opportunities, contracts, inheritance, gifts, divine appointments. Some appear heavy, locked, sealed, but your word is the key. Speak boldly. Open. Say it again, open. One more time, open. See them swing wide effortlessly. Behind each door is treasure. Behind each door is provision. Behind each door is blessing. And all of it is for you. Declare with authority, I walk through every open door. I claim every divine opportunity. I step into wealth without resistance. The atmosphere changes. You may feel goosebumps tingling, a rush of energy. That is the vibration of your decree shaking reality into alignment. The cycle of endless supply. Now speak the endless truth. Say it as if you are inscribing it upon the very fabric of existence. Supply never ends. Supply never runs dry. Supply flows like a river without beginning and without end. I drink from the river of riches and it overflows. I give, I receive, I circulate, and supply increases still. Let it roll from you like a song. Endless supply, endless supply, endless supply. Repeat until you feel the words no longer come from your lips, but from your spirit, as if the infinite itself is speaking through you. Anchoring the decree. Now place both hands upon your heart. Whisper gently, "It is done, it is done, it is done." Breathe. Let the energy settle. You have spoken the decree. The decree has been recorded in the substance of the universe. What you have commanded must appear. The inner seal. Say one last declaration. I am one with divine supply, therefore lack is impossible. I am one with divine opportunity, therefore delay is impossible. I am one with divine abundance, therefore struggle is impossible. My doors are open. My supply is endless. It is done. Smile. Rest in the knowing. The decree is sealed. If you felt doors open as you spoke, write in the comments, "It is done." For in speaking and sealing, you affirm not only with your voice, but with your hand. The decree has gone forth, the doors have opened. Now you are invited to sit in quiet, to listen, to receive. For abundance is not only about receiving inflow, it is also about moving with wisdom in outflow. Spending is not loss. Spending is circulation. Every dollar you spend with divine guidance multiplies and returns to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. So, beloved, let us now enter the sacred practice of journaling for divine guidance in money matters. Preparing the space. Find a journal or a notebook that feels special. Hold a pen not just as an instrument, but as a wand, a channel. Light a candle if you wish. Breathe deeply. This is not ordinary writing. This is communion with the infinite. Close your eyes for a moment. Whisper softly, Spirit of supply, right through me. Divine wisdom, guide my hand. Let my thoughts be clear. Let my words be truth. Let my pages reveal the way. Then open your eyes. Place pen to paper. Do not force. Flow. Journaling prompt 1. Gratitude for present provision. At the top of the page write, I am grateful for the ways money already supports me. Now, let your pen list them. Maybe it is the food in your fridge, the clothes on your body, the roof above your head. Perhaps it is the subscription that keeps you learning, the gas in your car, the coffee in your cup. List them all, no matter how small. As you write, feel the energy shift. Gratitude transforms what you see as little into much. You will notice the more you write, the more you realize you already live in wealth. Journaling prompt 2. Guided spending intuition. Now write divine guidance, show me how to spend wisely. Pause. Breathe. Write whatever comes. It may be an impulse to pay a bill with joy instead of dread. It may be a nudge to invest in a class, a tool, a resource. It may be a whisper to stop buying what does not serve your highest good. Do not censor. Trust. Flow. The infinite speaks softly but clearly. Journaling prompt 3. Inspired money ideas. Next, write, Spirit, reveal inspired money ideas that will multiply my supply. Now, free write. Do not judge whether it makes sense. You may be guided to start a small business, to call someone, to sell something unused, to create something new. You may be told to rest, for rest itself is fertile soil for ideas. Keep writing until the flow slows. These are seeds. Some may sprout today, others later, but all are golden. Journaling prompt 4. The abundant self in action. Finally write, how does my abundant self move, spend, and give? Now step into imagination. Write as if you are already living in overflow. How do you shop? How do you tip? How do you gift? How do you save? How do you invest? Describe in detail. Let yourself feel the joy of that self, the ease, the generosity. You are not writing fantasy. You are aligning your subconscious with truth. The reflection. Pause. When you have finished, place your pen down. Rest your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. Breathe. Say softly, my money is guided. My spending is divine. Every dollar I circulate returns multiplied. I am led, supplied, and blessed. Smile. Let peace settle over you. Why this matters. Journaling in this way transforms spending from fear into joy. Many live in dread of bills shrinking at the sight of expenses. But when you see money as a river, not a puddle, circulation becomes natural. The water that leaves always returns, refreshed, multiplied. Each time you pay, you bless. Each time you give, you expand. Each time you invest in what uplifts you, you anchor abundance deeper into your reality. Divine guidance ensures you never waste, never lose, never fall into lack. You are always led in paths of plenty. The closing affirmation. Whisper with me now. My money is sacred. My spending is guided. I am always supplied. I circulate with wisdom. I receive with joy. I give with love. I am always, always, always replenished. Repeat once more, slower. My money is sacred. My spending is guided. I am always supplied. I circulate with wisdom. I receive with joy. I give with love. I am always, always, always replenished. Breathe. Let it anchor. Your journal now holds divine seeds. Return to it often. Each word written there is a decree in ink. Each page is a contract with supply. Each entry is an opening for wisdom to enter. Share your most inspired money idea in the comments. You may be surprised what flows through you may also ignite abundance for another. Beloved, the fire has consumed the old, and you stand renewed. The chains are gone, the cycles are broken. Now you step into the most joyful truth of all. You are not a container of wealth, you are a channel. Supply was never meant to be stored, and feared, clutched, and counted. It is like the ocean current, vast, endless, moving, alive. When you open yourself, you become the river through which the ocean flows. The ocean vision. Close your eyes. See yourself standing at the shore of a great ocean, waves shimmering with gold, diamonds sparkling in every crest. This is the ocean of prosperity, infinite and eternal. No eye has seen its end, no hand has measured its depth. Now step into the water. Feel the waves wash over your feet, your ankles, your knees. It is not cold, it is warm, vibrant, alive with divine energy. With every wave that touches you, you feel richer, lighter, freer. The ocean is not asking you to hold it, only to flow with it. As you wade deeper, the current catches you. You realize you are not resisting, you are not clinging. You are moving with the current. Supply flows through you. Money flows through you. Ideas flow through you. Opportunities flow through you. Whisper, I am an open channel. Prosperity flows through me endlessly. Say it again, I am an open channel. Prosperity flows through me endlessly. The dance of inflow and outflow. Now imagine streams of golden current flowing into you. Money arriving in unexpected ways. Opportunities landing in your lap, resources rushing towards you. See your hands open, receiving it joyfully. But then you release. You give. You circulate. You invest. You share. And the moment you release, the current strengthens. The more you allow flow, the greater the inflow becomes. This is the law. What you give multiplies, what you circulate returns increased. What you release comes back sevenfold. Say aloud, I give with joy, I receive with joy, I circulate with joy. I am an open channel. The celebration of overflow. Now let yourself feel it. The dance, the joy, the freedom. No more clutching, no more fearing. You are laughing, moving, flowing in prosperity. Money is not scarce. It is playful, abundant, joyous. You are no longer the beggar at the gate. You are the river itself, carrying riches without end. See your life as a great garden being watered by this ocean current. Every project, every dream, every relationship nourished. The flowers bloom, the fruits ripen, the harvest multiplies. And as your garden grows, its fragrance and beauty spill outward, blessing all who come near. This is prosperity. Not hoarded wealth, but overflowing wealth. Not stagnant pools, but rushing rivers. The channel affirmation. Now declare with power, I am a channel of divine prosperity. I am a river of endless supply. I am a vessel of infinite riches. I am a conduit of circulation. As I give, I receive. As I flow, I grow. As I bless, I am blessed. Repeat again, louder within your spirit. I am a channel of divine prosperity. I am a river of endless supply. I am a vessel of infinite riches. I am a conduit of circulation. As I give, I receive. As I flow, I grow. As I bless, I am blessed. Let it echo until it feels as natural as breath. Living as the channel. Now imagine tomorrow you awaken, and instead of asking, how will I get, you ask, how will I flow? You notice where your money goes, where your love goes, where your energy goes, and you release with joy. A bill arrives, you bless it and say, as I pay, more flows in. An opportunity to give appears. You say, as I give, I expand. A chance to invest in yourself arises. You say, as I grow, supply grows. Day by day, you live not as one who fears shortage, but as one who trusts the river. For the river never ends. The final seal place, both hands on your heart. Smile. Whisper with joy. I am free. I am abundant. I am flow. Prosperity moves through me without end. I am a blessing and I am blessed. I am a channel of infinite riches. It is done. It is done. It is done. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Feel it anchor. Beloved, this is your new life. No longer chained to scarcity. No longer clinging to coins. No longer fearing loss. You are an open channel for prosperity. And as you flow, the world flows with you. Dance in it, celebrate it, share it, live it. Share this so more channels open for the world. For every voice that affirms abundance multiplies the current for all.